Hi, my name is Rashida, and I'm going to take you through a day of doing my favorite pastime, which is sewing. So first, I have to thread the serger. So we're going to thread this serger, which requires me to have the materials of scissors, tweezers, 4 spools of thread, the serging machine, sometimes a magnifying glass. If vision is not too good, you might need it to see some of the things and stuff like that. But for me, I don't use it because I can see what I'm doing on this. So to thread the serger, you would take the thread and then put it through the first hole and then bring it around the put it through the first hole and then bring it around the back into slot number 2 to bring it to hole 3. And then once you take it through hole 3, you're going to run it through the throttle and then bring it down. Everything is color coded. So we have the blue, which you start off at first, then you go to green, then pink, and then yellow. Then we move down to thread it through the machine. So we have everything color coded is blue so far because that's the first one that we're working on. And then you follow the steps. And for the blue one, you have 11 steps. So you do that and then you push number 9 to bring this sharp piece out so that you can thread it behind this silver piece, which is fairly sharp, so that you can put it through this hole. Some people use the tweezers. I just use my fingers. I'm just very careful when I'm doing it because it is sharp. So you will want to use the tweezers. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you that you use the tweezers and you grab it to keep your fingers from getting stuck or cut. And it'll give you access to pull the thread out a little easier. And then you'll slide it under this hoop right here so that you can get it to the back of the serger so that it will thread correctly. And that is the first spool. And then we are going to repeat the same steps of 1 and 2, putting it through the hole and then putting it through the second slot into the third hole. And then now we're working on the green, which is the second step, and then we're going to follow the green signs that show us exactly what steps we should make and go through the hoop. And for this one, we won't go under both because it only says to go under one for the green, and we're going to follow the steps of that. And then we're going to put this back on here, which allows us to put this through this hole right here. And then when we put this through this hole, it's only an 8th step for the green one. We're going to put it through the hole and then we'll slide it to the back so that the thread is ends up in the same location as spool number 1. So that one is completed as well. So we have 1 and we have 2 done. Now we're going to work on a third spool of thread, which is on the opposite side. And these will not go down to the bottom at all. These stay up at the top. So we're going to put it through the first hole at the top, the second slot, through the third hole, into the throttle, and then bring it down. And then there's a gray little hoop thing that you have to bring it around, and it shows the arrow where you're going to continue to go all the way around so that you'll go around to the hoop 5. And then what it is there are 2 needles right here. There are 2 needles in here. So when you put it on, you got to make sure that you're on this side of this hole so that when you go over to the needle, you are exactly at the needle that needs to be threaded, which is on the right side. And then you take the thread and you put it inside that hole. Sometimes the thread is a little ragged at the end, so you can you know, either clip it or pull it through. I usually have like a wet something or something like that to wet it, to pull it through. And that is the third one that is threaded through. So then we'll do the fourth one, which we're repeating the same steps of going through the hole at the top for 1, and the number 2 through the back slot, number 3 through the hole to the throttle, and then you bring it down following all the steps, which are yellow, which you go under and around. And the thing about this one is that you got to make sure that you go on the opposite side of this latch so that you can make sure that the thread is on its correct side, which is the left side, to go into the left needle. And then you take the thread and then you put it inside of the needle hole so that you can have a perfect serge. Well, this one wasn't as easy to put through, so I'm going to cut an end of it off so that it slides through the hole a little easier. And just like that, it is through the hole. And then you just pull it to the back so that all of the thread is in the same spot. So I'm pulling the thread through to make sure every piece is exactly where it's supposed to be, which is also a little tedious. But I know I make it look so easy. But it is fairly easy once you get the hang of it. You know, it's not as difficult, especially since everything is color coded and it shows you exactly where you should be putting the thread at. So all of the thread is in and under and waiting to be serged. Now all of the thread is in. So what I will do is I'm going to close this, which locks it. I am going to turn the serger on right here with this switch in the back, and then I'm going to put the flap down like this, which shows me it puts the serger flap down so that the thread can serge. And then I'm going to do a test to see that if the serge actually comes through. So, and I'm going to put my foot on the foot pedal to see if it serges. So here we go, the test of all tests, and let's see. We have a serge. That is a serge thread. Everything threaded perfectly. And so now I'm going to show you this piece of thread that's open. Is open. And I'm going to close it by serging it together so that you can see how it actually works. So I'm going to lift the handle, place the fabric underneath of the foot, and then I am going to serge it and you can see a serge. And I'm going to cut it right here, and there you have a serge piece of material. It's together. It's not open any longer. It is right there. So I hope that this demonstration was beneficial to you and you learned something new or touched up on some things, or you're not as nervous about threading a serger. Thank you for your time and have a blessed day.